Ryals show right here at Clarke Central High School in Athens, Georgia. And Coach, it's hard to believe that we're back after last year's season, and here we are getting ready to get started again.
I tell you what, time does fly, and I'm kind of excited about getting going again because it's been a long off season. I'm kind of interested to see how this team's going to react.
Well, kind of wrote in a blog earlier this summer about, high school is very similar to college. You're losing about 25% of your players every year, and you got to start all over again, don't you?
Yes, you do. And in fact, we lost 23, 24 seniors last year, and we only got about 12, 14 seniors this year. So we lost a lot, but I think our sub-varsity teams have been doing a great job over the last 2 or 3 years. And I'm interested. It's going to be interesting to see how those kids respond to having their turn, if you will.
Well, last week, of course, you had a little bit of an inter-squad scrimmage, and we looked at quite a few players. I know Buster and I in the booth, Buster Crumpton, we were both very impressed with some of the things that we saw out on the field.
Well, the one thing I walked away with that scrimmage is I thought the kids competed very hard, very well against each other. It was a long camp. I think we had 24 practices leading up to this North Oconee scrimmage. So it's been long. They've been beating on each other for a while, and I was very impressed with the way that they competed.
Well, that's one of the things that we kind of talked about earlier during the scrimmage when we were on the air. The kids are tired of hitting each other.
Sure. And
the timing. The defense knows what the offense is doing. They've seen those plays how many times?
A lot.
Yeah.
And you hopefully, any good program or anybody would like to have the defense ahead of the offense at this stage of the season. Because if your offense is way ahead of defense, you might have a long season. So I'm okay with that.
Well, the big thing I took out of it was the health. Everybody was healthy. There was some hard hitting in that inter-squad scrimmage.
I like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But the big thing, health-wise, and looked like the kids were in shape. It was a warm night, and nobody was huffing and puffing too bad.
No, we tried to have a great summer with conditioning. It was tough. In June, it was really, really hot, so we just kind of stayed the course a little bit and with our summer conditioning program. And hopefully, we'll be able to sustain these first 2 or 3 ball games when it's going to be kind of warm.
What are you looking at coming into the new region? First time since you've been here that you've been able to play 2 non-region games to start the season.
Yes, it is. It's going to be interesting. I actually think the first year we played Hart County.
Oh, that's
first
correct.
Game.
You're right.
That was about the first year. But it's going to be interesting because we think we got some pretty good non-region opponents.
No doubt. You perennial power in Marist coming in week 1 and then traveling to Central Gwinnett, which Gwinnett County's loaded with athletes.
It sure is, and it's going to be tough. But I think it'll give us a good test because our region's tough as well.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And we got to play, no disrespect to none of the teams in our region, but we got to play Flower Branch, Gainesville, and I think it's Heritage 3 weeks in a row. And all those teams have been champions the last 2 or 3 years, so we have to get ready.
And then you sprinkle in a Salem.
And we got
Loganville.
Appalachia's before
and
that.
Appalachia, yeah.
And the list goes on.
And Winder Barrow is, they're always got great athletes down there, and they work hard, and a new coach down there.
Absolutely. And then we end up with everything with Cedar in the last game of the season.
No doubt.
We had our work cut out for us. That's what we thought was important, that we go ahead and have some pretty good opponents the first couple games and see and kind of get a measuring stick of what we need to work on.
It's going to be a little different this year. Normally we open up, our first region game is always against Cedar, and this year it goes to the tail end of the season.
I couldn't believe that. Last year we had that meeting and we drew that name out of the hat, and I looked at our schedule from the number we drew out the hat. I couldn't believe we drew Cedar the last game. Financially, it's going to be a little different for us because that's a pretty good gate for us.
No doubt.
So we'll have to wait to get our big gate. So we got to make sure you all still come to that game. No matter what the situation is, we need everybody to come to that game because that game pays a lot of bills.
No doubt. And of course, we don't want you to miss any ball game. And, of course, the opener against Marist, as I said before, a perennial power coming into town. And that could be a good gate there. If you want to see a good high school football program playing another one, Marist comes in. Those boys are disciplined.
Yes, they are.
And they're well coached also.
And the good thing about it is the reason they're a good football team, a good football program, the same thing you saw on last year's team, last year's scheme. You saw last year's team.
No, yeah.
You saw them 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's the same exact scheme. They don't change a bit.
No doubt. Well, Coach, any surprises coming out of your summer practices here, getting into the schedule? Or, I mean, anybody that really shocked you or stepped forward?
I tell you what, we had a couple young guys on defense that really did a good job for us. Our nose tackle, who's actually deaf, T.J. Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start for us as a nose tackle, and he's only a sophomore. And he's been a surprise of the camp. Also, we had a couple young guys on offense that did a good job for us. Marshawn Lattimore is coming on pretty strong. He's a sophomore. A couple of those guys that I didn't expect to be competing for varsity positions are, and so that's been a real plus for us.
Well, talent level in those lower grades have the last few years have been very lucrative.
It has, and I tell you what, this year's talent, I don't know if we're going to get one of the ninth grade games on TV, but I look down at the ninth graders, they dress out better than we do. And they've got some good-looking youngins on the ninth grade now.
Well, yeah, here at GITV, we reminded everybody during the broadcast last week, but we are going to try to get those C-team and JV games on the air every week. We invite you to check to ClarkeCentralGITV.com on the website. Check it out. It'll tell you what's coming up and what's coming forward and where we're going to be and on the road. And, of course, all the games on the varsity, we're going to be on the air, and all those JV and C-team games right here at Clarke Central High School we're going to have on the air this year. So bring those kids right along and get them some exposure.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We got a lot of good-looking ninth. In fact, we're going to dress 3 ninth graders for our scrimmage against North Oconee. Yes.
Well, we got North Oconee coming in, of course, Thursday, the 23rd. That's tomorrow night here. We're taping today, and anything you expect out of that? I know that's a well-coached group over there.
They sure are. They remind me a lot of Buford. I mean, we played Buford the last couple of years, and people say, well, why did you downgrade the North Oconee? It's not a downgrade. I tell you that right now.
No,
they're very talented, very well coached. I know they lost some seniors from last year's team. Mm-hmm. However, I mean, they're just going to replace those guys with other guys that can play.
Well, the Colvin kid at quarterback he's a good talent also.
He's a very good talent. I mean, the ball's going to go to him. I mean, whether he's a quarterback or a wide receiver or defensive back, he's their guy. And they got a pretty good running back in that Quan Bryant, I think his name is.
I think so.
That little kid, he's not little. I saw him in track, and he's a pretty good player. And they play very good on the defensive side of the ball.
No doubt about it. I mean, they've been in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years, and that's got to be a testament to what they're doing.
Absolutely. Coach Tula does a good job.
He sure does. Well, we talked about some kids that were surprises. Some kids. Let's go to some of the highlights from last Friday's inter-squad game. And there were some kids that just stovall. Johnson. And here we got Cameron Johnson under center. Dropping back. Throw.
Looks like we got a post out. I think it was a Quan Dodd. No, that was another young guy, Quavon Scott, young tight end, just a sophomore. Here's Ryan Payne, backup just last year for Sean Watson, who's not at University of Tennessee and doing quite well, by the way.
That's what I hear.
And so we're excited about him. And there's our fullback from last year as well, our backup fullback from last year, Denzel Maxey. But he got a lot of reps last year as a fullback.
Denzel looked good, and of course Cameron just looks very comfortable back.
Very comfortable with the offense, and second year running the show, so to speak. And he threw that ball right there to a transfer after Cedar show. We're excited about him on Rodney Willingham. And this is the AD's son, Baylor Ward. He probably was a surprise of the scrimmage. Caught 3 big balls forward, did a good job out the backfield and blocking. So I'm very pleased with what he did for us.
Yeah, Baylor looked real good. And, of course, Willingham.
There he is right there again. And
he really looks strong. I really like the way he runs the ball.
We're very, very, very pleased by getting him. So looking forward to that. And there's Denzel again. Denzel. There's an old Waukee Watson on tackle. Waukee is another surprise. He's only a junior safety. And so we were concerned about that position last year. And Rodrigo Statham being the one safety back. And Waukee's done quite well.
Of course, Jamal Israel out there on the corner, he looked solid. And Drico Statham, of course, making big plays again.
Yeah, Drico's wanted to be the quarterback by that. Drico may also get some reps on the the offensive side, the wide receiver as well. We're kind of short-handed right now on the offensive side, so he's going to do some of that as well.
And of course, Stovall and Miller up front.
Yeah, we're really, really pleased with those people. Stovall being the senior, he's only senior on the defensive front, but I think our defensive line got a chance to be pretty good.
Here we go again, Cameron Johnson in the shotgun.
He's a little speed option off the edge right there to Jelani, and it's a tough running right there by Jelani.
Good run.
And we like that. But on the defensive side, we don't like that. We got to stop him a little bit.
Well, very impressed in the scrimmage and how the defense worked. And we're going to look at a few defensive plays here now.
And there's a old Bam Miller right there, Alan Miller, who get a little penetration right there in the backfield. That's good. There's another sophomore right there, number 64. That's Markel Kraft. He's only in 10th grade. Getting a little penetration. And who is this on the edge? That's Kenjai Reed. He's back in the program now. That's taking a year off, and glad to have him back as well.
Good penetration.
That's Bam Miller again, forcing Cameron to go that ball out of bounds. I believe if our defensive lineman can stay solid, we'll have a chance there. That number 1 right there, that's Kayvon Williams. He was a tailback for us last year. We moved to the inside linebacker. And he's had a great fall camp. And we're looking forward to see if he can kind of fill in for some of those linebackers we missed last year. That's Cedric Armstrong on the tackle right there. Again, a junior. We're young on defense, but I really think we got a chance to be just as good. And
well,
some of the guys can play pretty well.
The one thing I was impressed with on the defensive side out of the inter-squad scrimmage, the speed. I mean, you got speed at every position, and those kids are locomotives just going at it.
Well, Coach Self and our defensive staff do a tremendous job of just forcing the issue. We don't accept loafing. We don't accept not going full speed. They're going to do it full speed all the time. We got 2 new additions on the defensive staff. We hired Marcus Washington, a former University of Georgia player. He's going to coach the defensive line for us. And we got Coach James Johnson, who coached last year at Georgia Military College. So we're very pleased to have those 2 young men on our staff, and they've been a great help to our defense.
And then rounding out the defensive staff, of course, Coach Self is your defensive coordinator, and then your DB coach is
that's Coach Johnson.
That's correct. I'm sorry. And anybody else back there that we're missing?
Coach Bonnell does a little bit of both sides of the ball. He does a little bit of everything for us. But other than that, that's the defensive staff right there.
And then the offensive staff, of course, offensive line coach and your assistant head coach is
crazy man Forrest Paulson.
There you go, Forrest Paulson. How that name forgets me, I don't know.
He needs to buy another Athens Chevrolet. That's what he needs to do.
And then you're doing the quarterbacks, and I think Jason is helping you a little bit.
Jason's done a fine job for us.
And offensive coordinator, of course, you're doing all that yourself.
Well, one day, hopefully, Jason or Coach Cabin or one of them can take over that. Because I'm getting old.
And, of course, Coach Aaron Cabin, newly married Coach Cabin.
Newly married and special teams coordinator this year. Doing a great job for us.
And also does the running back. So you've got a great staff you've put together. And not a lot of turnover, but a little bit.
Yeah, and they're going to have that. You know, sometimes I try to have our staff be a strong staff. If people don't want your staff, that means they're not very good.
Well, yeah, I look at your mentor, Coach Saban. I mean, it's quite the same situation.
Exactly. Coach Saban's taught all of us a lot, and hopefully, when people want to come off our staff members because they want to get better jobs, that's a compliment to the program.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Coach, we're going into your 8th year here at Clarke Central, isn't it? Seventh year. Excuse me.
Not that old.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I don't know, but 7th year. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has been. This is my daughter, man. She's going to 5th grade this year. Excuse me. She went to 5th grade this year. Couldn't believe it. She'll be in middle school next year. When we came here, she was still just going to preschool. I was looking for preschool for her. So it's been a journey. It's been a great journey. We had a lot of ups, a lot more ups and downs.
Right.
And it's very comfortable to be here at Clarke Central.
Well, I remember the day you took over. Of course, my son was an upcoming senior, and the program was down. There's no doubt, nothing to say about it. The program was down. And with your work and your hard work and your staff that you've been able to put together, Clarke Central is now becoming a name around the state that's known, again, back from the Billy Henderson days.
Well, thank you, Chuck. But I will tell you this. The first thing I noticed when I got here, the players and the kids had bought into our system.
No doubt.
You can't do it without those players buying in and believing in what you're saying, because we asked a lot of them, both on and off the field, 12 months a year. So I got to get credit to the students here and the student athletes here.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly, but Coach, you've got to have something to sell for somebody to buy it.
Coach Saban talked about that too. He said, that, if the kids or the players believe in you and they think you're going to help them, they'll listen to you.
No doubt. So here we go into year number 7. A lot of high expectations from the Gladiator group and nation, and you've been to the playoffs 6 straight years. It's tough to do. I mean, very hard to keep this going, and your young team, but your coaching ability and your staff's coaching ability. What are you looking at this season?
Well, I told the kids, no matter who's wearing the Clarke Central Gladiator colors, you have a responsibility to the alumni, the students, the staff, to uphold that tradition, regardless of who's playing, how young we are. Because 10 years down the road, they're not going to say, well, they were young that year. They're going to say they either made the playoffs, they had this record, or they had that record.
No doubt. No doubt.
So
no doubt.
We'll figure out a way to do something.
Well, tomorrow night, of course, North Oconee Titans are coming in, and they've been a perennial playoff team also the last 4 or 5 years. Very good group over there. The format, I'm sure you're going to play the varsity players, 3 quarters?
Yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to play the young guys first this time.
Okay.
And I got to talk to Coach Tula again about, I don't know if we're going to turn the scoreboard off. I don't know how we're going to do it. And then we're going to be very limited on special teams for the young guys. Then when the older guys go in the game, we're going to play a live punt return.
Okay.
Live PAT field goal. And just blow it down and kickoff return.
Very good. So we're going to go 3 quarters with the varsity, 2nd, 3rd, 4th quarters.
Yes, sir.
Just like a game situation. And, of course, next week we get your full mode right in game situation.
Got live bullets next week now,
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
Got live bullets.
Yeah. So no doubt. So that's what the Gladiators have been working for all through the fall, all through the spring, the winter months, the mat drills, all to this point. Here we go, season number 7, and we open up tomorrow night in a scrimmage against North Oconee Titans. And, of course, join us right here on GITV August 31st, Friday night at 7:30 against Marist War Eagles. That'll be our first home game, first game of the season. And for Coach Leroy Ryals, I'm Chuck Wegman. We thank you for joining us here on GITV, the Coach Leroy Ryals Show. Ba-dum-bum.
That went on live internet just then?